How do we here at Best Hire do our background checks? How do we gather all the information you need to make the best hiring decision possible? Best Hire, we use a three-dimensional model. We begin with the history of the criminal record, which starts at the local level of policing. Someone gets arrested for some serious crime and a recording of the facts is created. Those facts are where we begin our search. So our first dimension is local, and our second dimension is the budget. Storage has always been based on what budget the government has had, the current copying machines they were operating, and how much blue ink they had to buy. Some police departments would only fingerprint and photograph the accused if the charge was a felony. And before the 1980s, it was a common thing if someone assaulted their wife to spend the night in jail and sleep off whatever the husband had consumed, then let them go home the following morning. Today, this doesn't happen as much because departments have modern computer technology, but you still need to know what the individual did in the past, and that may have not been recorded due to budget issues. So we dig through the records, through the budgetary restraints, and find the most up-to-date information for you. The third dimension is regions. Bigger cities would spend more time and resources tracking case history. The smaller governments and cities, less of an effort was made. This started to change when the FBI began accounting for statistics across the nation. Small towns versus bigger towns, down south versus up north. There had been significant differences, but the FBI initiative began to make a uniform process across the nation, which allowed for better information. Sanctions are also a common use by the government. These sanctions range from the sex offender registry to people not being able to handle prescription drugs. All these potential sanctions create a loss of time when attempting to understand what the government has found and not found. The National Sex Offender Registry is hard to work with because it does not list the convicted person's date of birth. Sometimes it may list an age. Common names are difficult to filter through. Try running John Smith or Alberto Rodriguez at the National Sex Offender Registry, and you'll find 352 John Smiths and 64 Alberto Rodriguez's accused of sex crimes. Best Hire has tools in place to ensure accuracy and timely processing of the sanctions information so you get the right info. There are numerous sanctions by the government that are required to be checked and are specific to certain industries. We can guide you through these and provide you with all the information you need to help understand the sanctions. The three-dimensional model was born as a way to make sure all information is gathered from all these places. Since 1991, Best Hire has been improving our reports to bring more information to the employer as quickly as possible. Best Hire emphasizes accuracy and that the original records are used. And we understand employer liability. The accuracy of data is a tried and true statement. However, without this accuracy, this information is irrelevant. For example, Charles Manson was convicted in 1971 for murdering as many as 35 people. Without a correct date of birth, his conviction would not be returned. Employers have the right to expect a higher standard of results when their background checks are completed, and Best Hire pays attention to creating a profile that makes the decision process faster, makes information understandable, and is compliant with all governing laws and regulations. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Cody from Best Hire, and if you want to hire right the first time, contact us and let us help you.